Get onto this conveyor belt. They wind up escaping because the roof part is magnetic and it pulls out really large chunks of metal so it doesn't wreck the thing, and they wind up riding that. The problem is after they drop down, all the shredded bits get sent to this inferno thing. And this is probably, you know, there's a lot of twisted imagery in this movie, and it's kind of fucked up.
You see them going to their deaths, and you see them
they're
recognizing we're done for.
They got this quicksand of shredded parts going down, and there's this fire in the middle, and everything. The heat is shimmering the air, and they can't fight against it, and they decide to resign to their fate, and they're like sliding down, holding each other's hands, and they're like, "This is the end." And then, of course, things don't turn out that way. You remember the little squeaky toy aliens that came out of the vending machine? Yeah, the claw. It keeps on being a running gag through all of this, and what happens is they wind up getting into this giant crane and using this giant crane to scoop them out and pull them out with a claw.
They're saved. Yeah,
they're saved, of course. It has a really happy ending. What happens is they make it home, they clean themselves up, and they were going to go to the attic. But Woody remembered this little girl. Now, this is one part of the plot that I did skip over. He wound up being picked up by this girl, Bonnie. This little, I don't know, five-year-old kid. Yeah. You know, the typical, adorable, very imaginative kid that Andy was in the first two movies. And Woody, you know, left to go save his friends. And basically what he winds up doing is the toys that were originally going to go to the attic, he winds up writing a note. Makes it kind of seem like his mother wrote it, Andy's mother wrote it, but Woody wrote a note that said, excuse me, that he should donate the toys to this girl. And they wind up, you know, going there, and Woody winds up staying with them. And this is around the time, I guess, where the real teary-eyed ending would be. Now, the thing is,
I didn't cry.
Yeah,
I mean, I could see it's a little touching.
It is. If you're really sentimental, and you can see behind me, I got a lot of toys. I have a lot of toys up here and behind the camera, and there's some toys over there. I think there's some toys over there. There's there's at least two Wall-E's from Pixar in here.
You gotta just make a video of all your
Yeah, you know, I have quite a bit, and you know, so I can understand that. I even still have some very old toys and blankets.
I can see mothers even watching this, you know, they're seeing their kids going off to college, and they could get a little teary-eyed too.
I'm sorry, unless you're really overly sentimental about your toys. I mean, you still talk to them. You aren't really going to find this to be that sentimental. Parents whose kids are going off to college, you know, or maybe they're thinking about their kids of possibly going to college and growing up. Of course they're going to be sentimental about it. It's one of those kind of things. But you're not going to, I don't think anyone adult-wise is going to be bawling their eyes out about this.
I've heard there's been some teenagers and adults that have been in tears at the end of the the movie. I don't see it much of a tearjerker. I guess there are people out there that might find it.
I suppose. Yeah. So yeah, it was a solid movie. Mm-hmm. Would I recommend seeing it in the theater? Yeah, at least once. We didn't bother seeing it in 3D because I think 3D is pointless.
If you do enjoy 3D, I can tell that there are a few shots where things are coming at you. It looks like it's set up for a really good 3D experience. So if you enjoyed past 3D experiences, I'd recommend it. They set it up. It's fun. I'm sure it would be fun.
True IMAX 3D would probably be better because you'd be able to be immersed in that 180 screen, 180 degree screen. But me, I don't care. It's already 3D. It's 3D CGI, guys. Sorry. Having it be layered more and maybe popping out a little bit more is...
Like a pop-up.
It's kind of pointless to me. I really don't care.
When you're absorbed in the story and you're watching it, you watch it for what it is and you forget about the whole 3D thing. You're not thinking, wow, that's popping out at me. You're invested more in the characters. You're enjoying it. That's my opinion.
So, if you want to see it in 3D, go ahead. I guess this is the part where the spoilers have ended now. And we're going to talk about, was there anything about the movie that we didn't like?
I think there was some points that slowed down a bit. But there was so much good about it. There were so many good jokes. It was fun. It was full of energy, lots of imagination. That I think.
Well, the thing is, hold on. The thing is about the slowing down part is with everything that they put into this movie, and I'm not saying they tried to fit too much into it. There are spots where you really do need a breather, and I think those spots are necessary. I think it was a good idea. I think having a breathing space, so that you can catch your breath for the next big roller coaster ride. I mean, there were parts where even during the fast-paced, action-y parts, I was just really like, But, the thing is, a lot of people have this tendency to forget that filmmakers do this to increase tension. Of course you're going to think that it's really dragging, but that's not really a problem. It's tension building.
Don't get the idea that this movie is a dragging movie. It's not. It doesn't drag at all.
It was just
a small little thing I noticed that there was just some points that were a little slow, but I guess any movie. Maybe I'm being too picky, but trying to find something. But really, it's a solid movie.
You really can't. I really cannot say that there's any sort of problem. There was no problem ever in any Pixar film with voice acting. There never is.
No.
You'll never hear us complain about voice acting. It's animation. It's Pixar.
The visuals are great. It's an improvement over the first. It better be an improvement. Of course, it's.
I don't know if it's an improvement.
Well, I mean, the textures. Like there was some scene where they're in the trash and you see all the spoons and the forks and you see all the details. It's like, wow, that looks really.
They definitely have more of a budget to be able to render
the little details.
Well, they have more. They have more of a budget to render things. Yeah. When Toy Story first came out, it was an early film. I mean, they really didn't have the budget to really go overboard on details.
This is their first motion picture. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you'll notice that progressively Pixar has gotten more detailed. They've got more expensive computers.
Exactly.
They do. You'll never hear me complain about how Pixar has progressed. Everything is fantastic. This movie really is just excellent. A lot of the new characters, I think, were really great.
Yeah, they were.
They had some great new characters in this little girl Bonnie's house. They had this thespian stuffed little porcupine guy that was all talking about Shakespeare and all this, and he's trying to stay in character while Woody's talking to him. And it is great. And they had this dinosaur, it was a plastic dinosaur, a lot like Rex, where it's the same kind of jaw hinge styles. I'm guessing it's supposedly from the same toy company that made Rex, is sort of the joke. And she's tech savvy, and she uses the internet to look stuff up. And while she was on, she started having an online chat from some Veloz something. It's like, ooh, what are you? And she's like, oh, and she's like trying to turn it off and everything like that, and a lot of humor there that that would be more for the adults that are going to see this, and they kind of make it seem like she's having online sexy chats or something like that with someone, and it's very funny. I actually liked that because it showed more of the whole Secret Life of Toys thing. What do you do when you get all that tech, right? You got computers lying around. Does that mean toys use your computers? Does they watch TV when you're not home? Are they rifling through your underwear drawer? It's just kind of funny, and I actually, for an adult, it's very appreciative that they go ahead and make those jokes. They could have just made everything for kids, and I think that would have been a mistake. Parents go to see these too. So definitely great. They had some great characters, a lot of great new characters. Everything was fantastic.
You have no complaints?
No.
Really? Go see it. Go see Toy Story 3.
It's a 10 out of 10 film, guys. It really is.